The setting is the office of Dr. David Herman. It's afternoon. Bookcases, desks, comfortable chairs. At the bookcase, reading a book, stands Albert Jacobs. He looks to be around 70 and wears tattered clothes and an old cap. He is shabbily dressed and resembles an old coal miner from a vintage photograph. Tattered pants, long coat, and cap. When he speaks, it is with a foreign accent, probably Polish or Russian. Albert looks as if he has had a hard life. A roadmap on his face is an understatement. There's a certain underlying sadness within him, although he tries to smile as much as he can, which is often forced. He is in his own little world, fascinated by the book until his concentration is broken by the entrance of Dr. Herman David. Dr. David walks in, throwing the mail on the desk. He notices Albert and jumps a bit.
Oh.
Oh. Hello.
Hi.
You must be Dr. David, yeah?
I don't admit it very often, but yes. And you are?
Albert Jacobs.
Ah, yes. Mr. Jacobs, I was to see you at...
Four, yeah.
That is good.
Do you speak German? Yeah.
Not authentically. I speak mock German. What is it, Caesar?
Well, I hope you don't mind if I'm a little bit early. Yeah?
That's fine. I'm a little late, so we're even, Mr. Jacobs.
Well, people don't seem to mind being early, I've found, but it's when you're late the feathers get ruffled, Dr. David.
You can call me Herman.
I prefer doctor. It's more respectful, and please call me Albert.
Fine with me on both counts.
Herman David. Oh, you have two first names. Two Jewish first names, yeah?
My parents had a sense of humor.
Rosen by any other name.
Very good. We have a Shakespeare scholar here.
Oh, well, hardly. Things just stick with you. I have that kind of mind, yeah. I took the liberties with your bookcases and your office. Forgive me.
No apologies necessary. The usual procedure is that you check in
and wait. The waiting room. Then that is for waiting, yes? Yeah?
Only because Nancy has you fill out all the preliminary paperwork. Would you like a cup of coffee?
It's kind of you to ask, but I don't drink coffee. I think you'll find everything here that you might need. Let me just put this back for you, and with the utmost care and respect. Yeah.
Well, here we go.
Well, aren't you feeling well, Doctor?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You do look a little pale, if you don't mind me saying. And your breathing is a little labored.
Oh, I have the flu hanging on that I'm trying to shake. Don't worry, it's not contagious.
No, I'm not worried. I rarely catch anything.
You should be careful. Wash your hands. Wear a mask.
And I should social distance, yeah? I've been social distancing since I was young. Not by choice, believe me. There is no physical danger with me. All my life, I haven't had so much as a head cold.
Really? Even when you were a child?
I might have, but I who can remember that far back?
I'm also out of shape. I get winded just walking to the mailbox.
Well, as far as your books go, I didn't see anything out there that People magazine and Car und Driver aren't really of interest to me, and I don't much care for people, and I've never owned a car.
You were reading my book on Freud. Are you interested in his teachings?
If a man has disdain for the key, he will never open the door.
The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing.
I like that one too.
Have a seat, Albert.
What? What? No chaise? No chaise? Nothing to stretch out on?
Well, there's a risk of you relaxing too much and falling asleep, and then I'll think it's all my fault. Nothing worse than a psychotherapist with low self-esteem.
Well, Freud believed in it.
Low self-esteem?
Relaxing. He thought that by relaxing, the subject would tend to be freer. Hence, the mind would be much more open.
Freud didn't know my droning voice. So tell me, Albert, how did you hear about me?
I guess you can say it was divine intervention. An angel whispered in my ear, and I heard him loud and clear.
Anyway, why didn't he just hand you my business card?
I believe in angels, don't you?
It's a beautiful concept.
Oh, it's more than that.
Do you mean like a guardian angel or something along that line?
Of course. Yeah. I have an angel. He's been with me the whole time, and his name is Caiaphas.
Caiaphas?
Yeah.
That is something you believe in.
I believe in a lot of things, Doctor. As you'll see, you can't rule out anything in this world or the next.
I'd like to concentrate on this one, if you don't mind.
Oh, a man of science.
You could say that.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Doctor, than in your imagination. Do you know what that is from?
You stumped me.
Hamlet.
More Shakespeare. Very nice.
He's an amazing writer, insightful. He makes you believe that statement.
I'll keep an open mind.
I will too. I always have.
I'm not going to disagree.
It's your right to.
The worst thing anyone can do is challenge somebody else's beliefs. I certainly don't make a habit of that.
Oh, and why is that?
There's danger of getting defensive, and that isn't productive at this stage.
You're very wise. A very wise man.
I've been called worse.
You're saying it may engage emotions, huh?
Possibly.
Is that a bad thing? It's part of being human, yeah.
I'm just saying at this stage.
I understand, yeah.
Right. Albert, you didn't fill in most of the information.
Yeah. Wasn't pertinent.
Medical history?
There's not much of a history.
No medications?
None.
Not even blood pressure? Blood sugar? Not even aspirin?
There's no need.
If this is true, you are very lucky. Most people your age are on something.
How do you know how old I am?
I don't. No birthday.
No.
No phone number, social security number, family members. Do you at least have a general practitioner?
I don't need one.
I find that hard to believe.
Don't challenge my beliefs, Doctor. I may get emotional.
I've never come across this before. Not having a GP, you sound like a man of mystery.
I'll take that as a compliment.
What you are claiming to be is anonymous.
If that is how you see me.
Okay. We'll put this aside for now. So, Albert, let us talk. I believe in exchanges.
I'm free and willing to do so. I like exchanges too.
Where are you from? I don't recognize the accent. I'd like to get to know you a bit.
I've been all around the world.
Ah, traveler.
Yeah, you might say that. I speak many languages: Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, Turkish, Russian, Polish, and many others.
Ah. Boretena mupiet dan milat tin eliniki glossa.
Et eleneke enemia opatepotes glossus mi atapa.
Haimata litaber ivrit bitoy elit.
Ach, ze haya es had habrim Hiroshima hi jarmita.
So, I see you will be open, and I appreciate that.
The main thing I can say about myself is that I'm a survivor. I have survived many atrocities.
I can see that just by looking at you.
How is that?
The way you carry yourself, your speech, the way you avoid eye contact at times, kind of a slouching posture. Yes, you do look like a man who's gone through some trauma.
You are very observant.
I have to be.
I sense that. I know I made the right choice connecting with you. You may think I look like a bum. Do you think I look like a bum, Dr. David?
I don't judge.
Oh, you may say that, but everyone does. People, they see me on the street and they, yeah. Now,
Wait a minute. I think I've seen you. Near the park, pushing a wheelbarrow, carrying shovels and things. I've watched you.
yeah, I've sometimes procured vegetative maintenance throughout the town. I feel very useful that way.
Yes, I've noticed you work very intensely. I stopped to watch you once and noticed that your focus is very intense. That is admirable.
Most people think I'm a bum, but I'm more of a hobo. Do you know the difference?
No.
What is the one thing a hobo will do that a bum won't? Huh? Look, I've been wandering up and down the train line, finding work when I can, washing dishes, fixing things. Over the years, you just keep learning, and I've learned carpentry, gardening, shoemaking. And by the way, I do have some money. I don't know what you charge.
Now, let's not talk about that now. We'll discuss money and insurance later on.
I don't have insurance.
No Medicare?
No.
Anything?
Nothing.
You must have.
I have nothing. Does that preclude me?
No.
But I don't expect you to do this for nothing.
Money is not important to me these days, Albert. I've made enough of it. But I think I should be honest with you, though. I didn't tell you this over the phone. I'll be retiring soon and not generally seeing new people.
Then why did you agree to see me if you were not taking on new people?
I'll see you. I just wanted you to know where I stand career-wise for the future.
And why this decision to have me? You could have easily have said no.
I could have, but I have this.
Yes, I have a strong instinct too, yeah.
And you know how strong it pulls you.
Of course. You can't ignore it.
Hardly. It was something in your voice. You sounded.
Desperate?
No, I can't explain it.
You couldn't say no, huh?
You know, sometimes when there is an unusual case, I don't mean to say, what I mean is, I sensed something different about you, and something inside me told me to pursue it. I don't take just anyone, only someone I think I need to help.
Even better. You have helpful intentions. Nothing to be ashamed of. People with helpful intentions are taken care of by God, which is a blessed place to be.
Thomas Merton?
Very good.
Do you believe in God, Albert?
Of course. Don't you?
Let's talk about Thomas Merton. You are very familiar with him, I take it.
I'm proud to say that I'm familiar with a lot of things. I've studied, I've read thousands of books over the years, including the first volume of Don Quixote in its original Latin.
Spanish.
No, Latin.
I thought it was Spanish.
Cervantes only spoke and wrote in Latin. Years later, it was translated.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Latin was the most popular language at the time. All of the Roman Empire all spoke Latin. Then it broke off into Spanish and Italian, and after a number of years, a verba Latina aliquot annos continuus ante Herbaricus.
Very good. It must have taken a long time.
Centuries. Over the years, I've met many people and have had many mentors, and I'm grateful. One should always be grateful.
I feel the same.
I have a vast reservoir of knowledge. If you ask me any questions, I'll answer. I'll know the answer. Ask me on any subject. Come on, go ahead.
Any subject?
Any.
Okay. Ancient history.
Very well. Ask.
Okay. Tell me the year that Alexander the Great conquered Macedonia.
Oh, you are smart. You try and catch me, huh? Macedonia was his empire. What king would attack their empire?
Okay. I'll give you that. Yes, you are good.
I know much more.
I'm sure you do. However, I'm not going to sit here all day and play Jeopardy with you. That is not the reason we're here. Albert, honestly, how do you think I can best help you?
This is going to be very complex.
People are. They're like puzzles. There are hundreds of pieces, and you have to put them together to gain an understanding of the whole picture. This is what I do.
And do you always find that picture?
Well, maybe not all of it, but enough to gain an understanding.
Well, how to explain? How can you help me? It used to be assumed that that people came to psychiatrists because they felt that they were insane.
The patients or the psychiatrists?
In the Middle Ages, they weren't treated. They were just put away in asylums, forgotten. Their screams just blended in with the noises from the city. Oh, it was horrible. You'd walk down the streets with your hands over your ears.
You feel as if you're insane, Albert.
No, I don't particularly feel that way, but I sense that other people do.
How do you get that?
From reactions. Laughter on the streets. Whispers behind my back.
Let me just interject something that may be good for you to reflect on. If you justify other people's behavior in your mind, you run the risk of not believing in yourself as strongly as you should. The worst thing anyone can experience is not believing in oneself.
Or believing in anything.
True.
We all have to believe in something. Maybe many things. Things that don't seem logical sometimes.
Like angels?
Among other things. Now, where do we start, Doctor?
With yourself, Albert.
I know myself quite well. What I'm going to say may seem the opposite in your mind, though. I realize that I run that risk, and you may find that I am insane.
Tell me about your interest in psychology.
I've studied psychology for a long time. I could have made it a profession if it wasn't for the war.
War?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand. Which war?
Well, I went into service after I left Freud's office in 1914.
Freud's.
Yeah. I left his office in 1914.
You worked with Freud
Yeah.
in his office?
Yeah.
Sigmund Freud.
The man in the book. Yeah.
In what capacity did you work with Dr. Freud?
I was his assistant for a while after we left school,
So you went to school with him?
the University of Vienna.
I see. Albert, are you aware he died in 1939?
Of course. I was there for his funeral. You don't believe me? Let me show you something.
Albert rises and goes to the bookcase. He removes the book he was reading, opens it, and hands it to David.
Turn to page 138. Last picture on the right. It's the graduating class.
That is pretty uncanny.
Yeah. Isn't it? And what does the name say?
Even more so.
There is another picture on page 35. On the bottom, the group picture, the last picture on the left.
I see what you're saying. Fascinating.
It's more than fascinating, I think.
Albert, are you claiming this is you? Let's go back. The war. That would be World War I, you said?
Yeah.
You were in World War I.
I was. Yeah. You don't believe that either, huh?
Okay, simple question. Do you believe there are any World War I veterans still living?
I know of one.
If that were so, you'd have to be close to 120 years old, am I right?
I'm older than that.
Tell me honestly about the reason why you wanted to come here.
I came here for two reasons. The first one is because there's something I have to cope with and I'm not quite sure how to do it. The second, you'll find out later. It has to be revealed carefully or you won't understand.
What is it, excuse me, you need help coping with?
Dying.
Talk to me about that.
I am at an age where I should be dying. I'm way past due, but I can't.
You can't die?
No, I can't, and I need peace more than ever. I've been living for such a long, long time. It's time. I'm tired. And the forces of heaven and earth have to realize that and have pity on me and let me rest.
So what you believe is, effectively, you are living a lifespan much longer than a normal human being.
So much longer.
How much longer?
Oh, I've been alive and walking the earth for more than 2,000 years.
2,000 years.
Yeah.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Oh, it's not my doing.
I see.
No, I don't think you do yet. So, tell me, what do you think?
About
Coping.
the human mind is very intricate, Albert. Truth and understanding take a lot of time to reveal. I'm not sure I can give you that time.
So what do you say?
I think an in-depth analysis would suit you best to start, and then after I retire, I'll refer you to colleague.
No.
You have to be truthful with yourself.
I know the truth. I don't need analysis.
Even Freud was analyzed.
It was his choice, but it's not mine.
I'm just saying.
I studied in Freud's class, and I made myself useful during my life. I wandered around to every country possible and absorbed the culture. Have you?
No.
Well, then you can't deny my past.
Frankly, your past is not important to me. I work to shape people's futures.
Well, maybe I am too far ahead of myself. I have to be careful and do this right.
I am open to hearing what you have to say. If you have been alive for 2,000 years, then you should have had a lot of interesting experiences. I am sure you'll tell me.
Everything from the fall of Rome to the plague to the execution of the Tsar, many wars, including the Revolutionary, Civil, World War I, World War II, including Napoleonic in 1812. Now, does that sound strange to you?
I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Then you'll work with me?
That's not the way it happens. We'll work together. So tell me about the war. Start with World War I.
During World War I assisted as a medic.
So did Hemingway.
Yes, I knew him.
Did you know Ernest Hemingway?
Oh, I most certainly did. Work right alongside him. The man had the strongest stomach I'd ever seen with what he could put up with. Oh, my God.
How did you deal with the bloodshed?
When men are dying, you don't think about it. Sometimes it was your duty to carry the men off the battlefield who were in 3 pieces.
Did it affect you?
Oh, war affects everyone, Dr. David. You can't just walk away from that. You remind me of the faces
How so?
because of how you've been looking. Pale. Do you know the procedures that put them back on their feet? One was rest.
And the other?
Transfusions. It brought the color back to their faces. You need some color.
I don't think I need a transfusion.
Well, that's good because I don't know how to give them anymore.
My doctor takes care of me.
Also, you seem distant. I sense that you drift.
We all do that. It's called being preoccupied.
Tell me what you're thinking about. Huh?
You got that backward. I'm supposed to ask you that.
No. You have something to say. I know this. You can't focus because something is bothering you.
I am not here to discuss my personal matters.
And then you are not supposed to bring them into the office.
Right. Can we please move on?
It's maybe something you need to talk about.
Doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, you wouldn't be thinking about it.
We are wasting time.
Do you think this is a waste? Talking about human feelings?
We should be talking about your feelings.
Oh, you should tell me. Well, If you don't want to tell me, I'll stop asking.
It's no big deal. I was just thinking about my father, that's all. Don't you think about yours?
It was so long ago, I hardly remember.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have that occasional dream or thought, wondering where they've gone and what they may be doing, or maybe the thought of them being a part of nothing has entered into your mind. Your loved ones might now be thin air.
No,
How do you know?
I sense everyone I've ever known is around me.
Has any of this been proven to you?
Doesn't have to be. It's something that I feel. I made my peace with God a long time ago.
Fine. Then you will rest in peace.
I hope to someday. You assume that all people think the way that you do, don't you? Using your mind and ignoring your soul, huh?
I deal with what I have to. And you are not living my life for me. But it doesn't mean I can't feel something. Don't try and stop me from doing that. Like all people who have gone, they pop up once in a while.
He was your mentor?
Yes.
Was he a good man?
Are any of us good all the time? Basically, he was a good man.
Tell me.
I have to care for people, Albert. And sometimes it seems an impossible task, but it was the reason I was put here.
And the reason I was put on this earth. We haven't touched upon that yet.
We will.
Think about your life. If I were you, I'd be so proud of myself. Ask yourself, how many people have you saved and have you cared for?
Do you want an answer?
Please.
I don't know.
You must have some idea.
Countless people.
All who were cured?
Yeah, you can't cure everyone.
And this distresses you, yeah?
Let's not.
No, I'm interested. This will help me. Yeah. Please go on. Now, what were you going to say?
I will give you an example.
Please.
I used to visit my father at a place where he worked when I was a student, and there was this patient who was convinced he was a circus clown. He was harmless. He'd paint his face and dance around using this funny voice, doing magic tricks for the other patients on the ward. I was the only one who saw him as being incarcerated. I asked my father if he could cure him, and you know what he told me? He said, no, and I wouldn't want to. I was silent for a while because I couldn't understand why he would say that. When I got the nerve to ask him, why? He said quickly, I tried. I tried for a long time and just realized that maybe I shouldn't because he's happy. Who am I to sabotage anyone's happiness? He isn't hurting anyone. I'm sorry.
And you're apologizing? That is no reason for an apology. You were proud that you cared about someone. Is it a sin to tell me about something that you're most proud of?
The time here is about you. I broke one of my own rules.
You're not feeling very Would you like me to come back? And maybe you would like to take some rest.
Well, rest is a good word.
Yeah, well, you see, if you had a chaise, it would come in very handy right now. Now think about going home.
No,
For rest.
I can't.
Why?
Because I can't go home. Not now.
If you feel bad.
No.
You are you are fighting something, yeah?
Something is telling me to stay. Something important is going to happen here. I can't leave.
Your instincts again, yeah?
You know they are very strong. Take a breath and talk with me.
Yeah. Something is about to happen. Very important. That's the second part of the reason I'm here. The most important part. Something you should know.
Tell me something. Do you believe in reincarnation?
You seem to love the mysterious.
Don't use that word.
The
I'm asking you a question.
answer is that I don't know. Isn't it in your bookcase, your research?
Yes.
Well, then you should know more about it than I would.
Maybe Buddha is right. Another 9 shots at life.
7.
9.
No, it's 7. Then Nirvana.
What was I thinking?
Cats.
9.
Cats.
Cats?
They supposedly have 9 lives.
Right. Not the same with people. People can get sick and die.
Not everyone.
Everyone.
Doctor, let me propose this question to you. How would you feel if you could be immortal?
Please.
No, hypothetically.
I don't deal with hypotheticals.
Well, try this once. Pretend and see if you can justify this.
I can't.
You're not even trying.
I can never be immortal
Why do you think that?
because it's a myth.
A myth?
That is my belief.
You are challenging mine. I might get emotional.
I'm just answering your question and stating what I believe is the truth.
So I'm a myth, a walking myth. I'm saying, think about the hypothetical to get the answers. Sometimes you have to put your mind in a different place. Imagine.
My mind is always in 15 different places, Albert. I have to get it to stop wandering. I have to control it or it's going to kill me.
No, your mind isn't the thing that's going to kill you. You know what is going to kill you if you let it.
What are you talking about?
Something you never told anyone.
I don't want to talk about myself anymore, Albert.
Oh, but
I don't want to talk about myself.
don't you see that you have to? This is where it is all heading.
No. No. I'm putting a stop to this right now. Tell me, what happened after the war?
Very well. I will finish my story about the war if you really want to know.
I do. This will give me more insight.
After I served, I went back to Vienna, then made my way back to Germany, which was a mistake. Albert Jacobs was living in occupied territory. There were a group of German Jews who set up offices and looked out for each other. And we were sure that we were all safe.
And were you?
False hopes. One is never safe anywhere that I found.
Were you taken away?
Right away.
I'm sorry for that.
Well, you needn't be. It's over. It's over with. I spent my emotions when I was there. There is no need to revisit them now.
Well, tell me about it.
No, certain pictures still stand out.
Oh, I'm sure they would. Tell me. Talk about them.
Long, dark train tunnels, boxcars, packed with sick people. The cars that were designed to transport 6 horses, and they were packed with 100 people into them, traveling at night, and we were blinded by floodlights when the door finally opened. And families separated, people shot, snarling dogs crying and screaming that lasted months, so much that it would ring in your ears long after it stopped. Ghosts.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Edgar Casey once stated, "There are no ghosts, only ghosts of the mind. And my mind is filled with ghosts, and it always has been." Are you familiar with him?
If you looked further in my bookcase, you'd see Dreams and Visions.
Yeah, his most famous book.
Arguably.
Huh? I didn't think you would be that
Why
kind.
not? Why not? In my work, I research everything. It doesn't mean I agree with it.
Yeah, you have a curious nature.
Allegedly cured people in his sleep and gave predictions.
Yes, he did.
Unfortunately, a lot of them didn't come true, did they? They rarely do. What about Nostradamus? All those vague prophecies.
All subject to interpretation.
You know, it was predicted by him that the world would end in 1988. What do you have to say about that?
Never trust the French.
I don't believe in anyone who claims to know the future. You cannot know the future. You are almost always wrong.
So, that you don't believe in being psychic, huh?
I do not. If there were people who knew the future for certain, they would make a fortune at the racetrack and the lottery, and that never happens.
And you don't believe in the power of the mind?
Not in that sense.
I learned a few things over the year. I've developed my mind.
I know. You showed me earlier with your knowledge of ancient history.
That's not what I'm talking about. 9. I'm talking about the spiritual. So he got predictions wrong. Maybe that wasn't his purpose.
No, what was it?
Maybe he just got a lot of people thinking. That's all. People have to be picked up and shaken sometimes.
Is that enough?
Oh, I think so. What would a man be like if he didn't think? Oh, you should know the answer to that one.
I have been a student of René Descartes.
Another Frenchman.
There's a story about Descartes. Walking into a Burger King and the cashier asks, "Would you like fries with that?" Descartes says, "I think not." And he disappears. Cogito ergo sum. It's a joke.
I don't think so.
Don't you get it?
I understand the meaning, but I don't think it's a joke. Jokes are supposed to be. Yeah. I want to show you something. It's painful for me, but it is adding up to the reason why I am here.
Are you brave enough to open up another wound?
Yeah,
Why would you do this?
I have to prove something to you.
No, you don't.
Oh, yes,
Why?
because we are going on. First, I must know that you will want to see the evidence.
This isn't a trial, Albert. You don't have to prove anything to me. I thought you understood that. Why do you always think you have to?
Because if you believe me, this is the only way it will work.
What will work?
Relief and rest.
If you need to show me something, I'm not opposed to it. Just don't expect me to change my thoughts or beliefs.
Maybe you have to. Why are you fighting that?
I'm not fighting anything. I'm not putting myself in a place to fight.
Don't you want some peace of mind as well?
Albert,
You have to find peace of mind. Every human being is searching for that.
that is my job to find that for myself. And it won't happen here in this office, okay? Not for me, anyway. What do you hope to accomplish by this?
Proof and understanding on a path to my second reason.
Albert takes a paperback book out of his pocket. He turns to a specific page.
I want you to look at something here.
Another book?
Documentation. Do you remember there was a famous picture taken by Hitler's photographer of a group of Jews in Auschwitz, standing in the back of a barbed wire fence, their faces hollow, their eyes sunken, and their heads shaved, thin as rails? Do you remember?
Vaguely.
Albert opens the book and shows it to David.
This is the picture.
David takes the book and looks at the picture.
Do you remember it now?
Yes, I believe it was in Life magazine.
Look at that man. The man standing with his hand on the fence. Now look closely. Do you see? Look at his face. Who is it? And look at his right arm on the fence. Do you see the numbers on his arm?
Yes.
Well enough to read?
Yes.
Read them, please.
465932.
Albert slowly pulls up his sleeve and reveals his arm. The same numbers are seen.
In your little world of logic, there must be something that makes sense, huh?
Do you want to know what I think?
Yeah, say it. Say that this isn't proof. How can it not be?
There are so many things that
What? Prove false?
it's the way my mind works.
Oh, what about the picture? You go to a magic show or a magician? No. What about the picture?
What about the picture? You do go to a magic show and a magician makes a dove disappear. Does it disappear into thin air? It's a trick.
You know what you are, Doctor? You are a doubting Thomas. Do you remember the story in the New Testament?
Yes, I do.
And what is the story, huh?
Oh, allegedly, Jesus rose from the dead and walked among the living. Everyone saw him except for Thomas, who didn't. And the apostles told him that Jesus was back, and he didn't believe him. End of story.
No, that is not the end of the story. Jesus said, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe." There is something to be said for faith.
You have a picture here of a man who may or may not be you.
What about the numbers? Do you doubt your own eyes?
It's conceivable that someone seeing this, if they wanted to, could very easily look at the numbers and put them on his arm.
As if it were done with a pen, a crayon. It was usually done by a tattoo.
How could you prove that?
If you look very closely, you'll see it is not a tattoo, but a scar. It was administered by an overzealous soldier who thought he'd like to try something new. This was burned into mine arm like a cattle brand, and he's been there since 1943.
Albert.
Can you accuse me of lying?
There are too many possible...
Possible? Are you telling me what is possible? I know what is possible. I've lived it for years. It is possible that I may be cursed. It is possible to have you put in my path, and it is possible for us to help each other. People are put together for a reason. Don't you see that? Even in its most quiet moments, life is planning something fantastical. Look at us.
Please.
I am furious that you called me a liar!
I did not.
It was implied.
No.
Of course it was.
You knew from the beginning that I respected you.
And why should you? You don't know me. You don't know me, or do we? And I don't know you. Do you think we do? Now just think about that. Think about it.
It's something.
Yes, it is. It is. It's something that is not clear to you yet. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I.
You don't see the truth. You are incapable of understanding anything truthful. Oh, having a closed spirit is worse than a closed mind. The mind only goes so far, Doctor. The spirit is far more far-reaching. Why won't you see that? Look close. This is a scar from a heated piece of iron that was painful, much more than a tattoo. Does it come off? Does it look new, or has it been on my skin for the last 70 years? Touch it.
No.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to touch you.
Oh, it's like you putting your fingers to the wounds of Christ. Huh? Yeah. Can you see how the skin is raised around it? Scars swell and stay that way. Look at it again. It's in the real picture. And then tell me if it is real.
I can't say. I don't know.
But you seem to know enough to make a judgment, don't you? You have to believe me, or I can't help you.
You keep saying that. Why do you need to help me? Stop saying you need to help me.
We need to help each other. That is why I'm here. That is why I was drawn to you. That is why you have the deep sense to keep seeing me. Because it was a prophecy. Why didn't you just throw me out in the streets? Tell me why it is that you're retiring, Doctor. The real reason. The real reason. You are a young man. You want to spend time with your family. Oh, that's the oldest excuse. Do you say that you're an observant person? Well, so am I. I can see the heavy breathing. I can see you break out in a sweat. And I can see how pale you are. There is a good chance that you're anemic. Oh, I've dealt with that. I know the human body very well.
Do you? How well?
I have learned much. Don't you see that? I've proven it.
Tell me then. Tell
Sometimes,
me. No.
sometimes when someone is anemic, their blood isn't circulating properly, and it goes to feed a place that needs it. Did they tell you that?
I know that.
Did they tell you that tumors suck up the nutrients in your blood? You are avoiding discussing it.
Because that is none of your business.
Oh, but it is.
How can it be?
I will explain. I will explain. I have a sense, an intuition, that even your family doesn't know. Am I right?
You're right.
Why? Why don't they know?
Because it's my choice.
To hide your head in the sand. Do you care about them?
Of course I do.
Well, enough to let them give you support.
It's not about that.
Tell me what it's about. What is your reasoning?
Protecting them from pain.
Oh, you cannot protect anyone from pain forever, no matter how good your intentions are.
I love my family.
Then you should include them in everything.
I will,
Uh,
when it's inevitable. I don't know that yet. It's between us, and it doesn't involve you.
all the pieces will fit together very soon, and you'll see how wrong you are. Oh, it's noble of you to try and spare pain, Doctor, but you should know in your profession that this is unavoidable. Very well. You want to know who I am and where I came from? I will tell you. I came from an honest place. I know you will understand when I tell you. Then we shall go on with the crucial part of this transition. I was a cobbler. I was well known in Jerusalem, and everyone came to me. For years, I was very prosperous, and there was a major upheaval, and word was spreading about a heretic who was causing a commotion in the lives of people in power. One thing that is sure. Oh, if you challenge people in power, they will challenge you back. If you push them, they will push back. If you kill them, you will die by the sword. How many people were killed in the name of politics throughout the ages, from Julius Caesar to John F. Kennedy? So I watched as it festered, and there was nowhere else to go but punishment and death. The man was punished and walked right by me, and I became furious because the parade obstructed my business, my living. So I walked out to see the man, and there he was, beaten and bleeding. Did I care? I took off my belt, hitting him and demanding that he'd move on.
Because you were selfish and threatened.
Yes!
And you lacked compassion.
Yes! I hit him over and over again, and he stopped and looked at me. Some force halted me in my motion. There was no one else in the world. And he told me that I would have to learn lessons, and it would take several lifetimes. And I have been walking the earth ever since, alone. And now it is time to change that.
How?
I had to wait until there was a way. Still, you don't believe me. You have the answers when I ask these questions. Would you like to end this relationship, honestly? Should I just leave?
No.
You don't want me to leave?
No.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Something is holding you.
Telling me.
Yeah. You don't want to end this relationship, do you?
I would like to end this session. I don't have the energy to go on right now. Please, let me rest. You have to allow me that, considering the state of my health.
And that is why you're retiring, huh?
I love my family very deeply, Albert. I do want to spend time with them. Each day that I see their faces will mean something to me.
I have learned compassion. I have learned empathy. I have something important to share with you.
What? Norman, you've gone mute.
Okay, go back. I have learned compassion. I have learned empathy. Norman, do you see that? Hmm. All right. I don't know. There might be some technical problems there. Let me take over reading until Norman comes back. I have learned compassion. I have learned empathy. I have something important to share with you. Something your family should know because you know it will be hard for them, especially Sarah. She's young.
What?
You two are very close.
How do you know that? How could you know her name? I never mentioned my daughter to you. I never brought up her name. I never brought up her name. How could you know that? I make it a point never to talk about my family.
I have to get through to you.
That is not your job. You don't have to get through to me.
She's going to be devastated. You know that. Can you leave her?
What choice do I have?
Well, you may have one.
I do not have a choice.
Do you want to leave this earth with all that is here for you at your age? You don't have to die.
I don't like it, but I have to accept it.
You have to accept that not everything pertains to logic.
I am going to die.
Yeah, because you believe it.
What can I do?
Change things.
I am back. Yeah,
Okay.
I am back.
Taking it from you don't believe you can. It's all in your belief.
You don't believe you can. It's all in your belief.
Stop this.
You are just starting to see the possibilities. You'll get your rest, Doctor. You'll have plenty of time to rest, if you choose.
What does this have to do with me other than I'm treating you?
You're not treating me. We are not talking about doctor-patient. We never were. The second you walked in the door, you should have known it. It wasn't going to be an ordinary relationship. Didn't your instinct tell you that? Ask yourself. You are tired. So am I. But I have a job to do, and I won't rest until I complete the task. Then we can both rest. What are you afraid of? You fear something. Every man does.
You tell me then. What I'm afraid of.
What stops a man in his tracks when a certain thought becomes into his mind, yeah?
I have no idea what you
Oh, of course you do.
Tell me then. What do I mean?
No, I want to hear it from you.
Mystery.
You're afraid of mystery? Of the unknown? Every day in every part of the world, people are wondering about mystery, except maybe in parts of India where they float out to sea on a burning raft and give up their physical beings to the gods. Yeah, you could do that. You just never believed in God.
If you examine the concept of God logically, you can see how likely it is to be the product of good imaginations.
Oh, yes, I can understand that. Talking snakes, burning bushes, loaves and fishes. Maybe you don't have the whole picture yet.
Maybe not. Paint it for me.
I will prove to you that I cannot die. If I can prove to you that I cannot die, will you believe me?
Belief. Yeah, it's all about belief with you. What if I do believe something? What if you can't die? How can you prove it?
By resorting to the final step.
Then do it. Prove yourself. You are so anxious to prove yourself, then do it. Stop confusing me and do it. Prove yourself. Show me that you are immortal and other people can be.
You want to be, don't you?
Prove it.
Secretly, you're hoping to spend a lifetime with your family. Now, come on, admit it.
It's not possible.
Well, let's make it possible.
Albert pulls a huge knife from his pocket. He sticks it in the desk with one swift motion. It stands up straight. David seems to start to be having some sort of breakdown. He hyperventilates.
Take it!
I will not.
Pick it up!
No!
You are so sure of yourself. Now, hold it in your hand.
Leave!
I'm
Telling you, leave!
I'll take it!
Furious, David pulls the knife from the desk, holding it out.
Very good. Now examine it and tell me if you feel like it's real.
It's real. I can see that it's real.
Hold it out. Hold out the knife. This is the last. Soon I will be out the door. But not yet. Hold it out.
David holds out the knife, shaking.
Come closer. For the sake of your wife and the sake of your daughter, do what you have to do for all that is eternal and all that is just. Do it! Do it now! Oh, coward!
David takes a swing at David. David reels back and then steps forward, thrusting the knife into Albert again and again. Albert remains stoic. David steps back, dropping the knife to the floor. Albert opens his coat and shirt. David remains exasperated.
You felt the knife go in, didn't you? It's real. As is everything I have been telling you for as long as we've known each other.
We're done.
No, we are not done. We have something to discuss.
No.
Of course we do.
We have nothing to discuss.
Open your eyes, Doctor. What do we have here? It's the simplest form. Two men. One man wants desperately to live, and the other desperately to die. Now, how can we help each other? Huh? Being alive for so many years has many facets. You spend more with people than more time with people than you would have before. You learn so much that you are a genius 1,000 times over. You help a lot of people, and on the other hand, you watch relationships play out. The people that you love grow old and die. And time after time, you're visiting a deathbed. But overall, is it worth it? Yeah. You gain so much, more than you lose. That is my feeling. Time is so precious. You are a good man, Dr. David. The world needs you for as long as they can have you. Think of how many people you can help.
Thank you.
I have made my contribution many thousand times over.
Why me?
Like a marriage, the best situation comes to those who wait for the right person, yeah? Think of it. You'll see your daughter graduate from college. You'll see your daughter married. You'll see your grandchildren grow and their grandchildren and theirs. But eventually, you'll lose them too. So there is a sacrifice. But a little bit of time is better than no time at all, don't you think? People live for one reason: to help each other. If we put aside selfishness and make the effort, yeah.
I have tried. God knows I have tried.
Of course, God knows that.
Long pause. David paces and seems to be lost in another world. He has changed, quiet, introspective, and sensitive. He sits, puts his head down, and weeps. Albert can do nothing but stand and watch. David slowly picks up his head and wipes his face with his handkerchief.
If you decide that you need my help, just ask me. I will freely give it. I will stop by and see you tomorrow at noon. You will give me your decision.
It's hard to pick my head up. Yeah, I just feel like I can move. My whole body is...
Dying?
I'm weak. I'm weak. It's getting worse.
The phone rings. He looks at the caller ID, then picks it up. His demeanor changes to positive.
Hi, honey. How are you? I feel good today. Honestly, I do. Tell Mom I'm perfectly fine. I got a good night's rest. I have to finish up with one more patient, and I'll be home. What are you making for dinner? Oh, sounds good. I gotta go. Love you.
Sarah?
Yes.
She is a very sweet girl, isn't she?
She is.
Goodbye, Dr. David. I thank you for everything.
Wait. Albert. Please.
David rises, unsteady on his feet. Albert steadies him.
Go easy.
You don't have to come back tomorrow.
Oh? And why is that?
I've made my decision.
You have?
Yes.
Are you sure about this?
Yes.
There's no going back.
I won't go back.
Very well.
What do I have to do?
Nothing?
I must have to do something, Albert. This is too easy.
No. Why shouldn't it be? Sit here.
David, very weary, is helped to the chair by Albert.
Just go slow. Just go slow.
I'm trying.
Slow steps, slow steps. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
You're shaking. Don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Let me have your hands.
David offers his hands.
Put them straight out in front of you. Now, when I push down on them, you resist. Don't let the force of my pushing affect you. Just push up against me.
Albert pushes down on David's hands, which collapse under the weight.
All right. Head to your chest. Close your eyes.
David puts his head down. Albert puts his hands on David's shoulder for a long while. Music plays, the lights dim. Albert then takes his hand off of David's shoulders. He walks around facing him, touches David's face, and David opens his eyes.
Hands out.
David puts out his hands.
Resist.
Albert pushes down on David's hands again, but they don't budge.
You are much stronger. Now, stand up on your own.
David stands much stronger.
Tomorrow, when you wake up, you'll have a whole lifetime ahead of you. Several lifetimes.
You?
Waking up tomorrow is not in my schedule. Can you help me to the sofa? I need to get off my feet.
Albert puts his arm around David's shoulder, and David helps him to the couch. Albert is seated.
Is that okay?
Yes, I'm very comfortable. Thank you. Perhaps you can help me take off my coat. I'm not as cold as I was. Just for a moment, I'd like to close. I'd like to close my eyes.
Of course.
David sits next to him and holds his hand. Albert takes a deep breath.
Are you okay?
I'm very peaceful.
Then rest.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, Albert?
Many people will get to know the name Dr. Herman Davis. Make sure you don't disappoint them.
Is that possible?
Nothing is impossible.
Albert smiles and closes his eyes. David watches him for quite some time, then feels his wrist for a pulse. Albert's arm drops limply. David puts his fingers on his neck to search for a pulse there. There's nothing. Albert lies emotionless, but with a smile on his face. He looks content. After a moment, David rises and goes to the bookcase, pulling out the book on Freud. He turns to a certain page and stares down. Lights fade. End of play. Good, gentlemen. Okay. Let me see if I can put this back on gallery. Okay. Let's see. Ask to unmute. Ask to unmute.
Hey, you're looking your old self now.
Mhm.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh boy. Sorry about the little audio glitch in the middle.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yep.
was wondering.
just a little audio glitch. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called
Okay.
a
I'm
button.
trying to get everybody to unmute. Let's see. Ken, can you hear me?
Yep, I sure can.
Okay.
Oh.
Tim? Not yet. Okay. Tom, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Carla. I'll try again. Okay. Kim, I'll try again.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Oh, okay. All right. Who is iPhone 2?
I don't know, but they were never muted through the whole thing.
Let's see. Let me try this. Ask to unmute. Okay, so most of us are unmuted, except for iPhone 2.
Mysterious iPhone 2.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's
Well,
great.
I did an emoji, but great reading, both of you.
Yeah,
really.
they did a great job. Did a
Yep.
great job.
Bravo, bravi.
Yeah.
Amen.
Okay, let's see. Ask to unmute. One more time. Okay. Still, the iPhone 2 is not unmuting.
They
So.
might have muted it themselves, in which case you won't be able to do anything.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
I think that if you mute yourself, then you can't unmute it.
Oh,
I could be wrong about it, but I think that's what it is.
okay.
Well, they have nothing to say, so we shan't. Let's just
Oh,
move on.
the
Just
heck
move
with it.
on.
Okay. All right. So this is the second draft, second reading that we've done. The first draft was it changed quite a bit because there was a character of the daughter that was in it that we found the consensus was that she wasn't necessary, because the only reason I had her in there was because to reveal the information that the father was sick. And I cut her out of that and just sort of worked it into the conversation and made it a two-character play. So
Yeah,
that-
much better
yeah.
choice. Much
Yeah.
better choice. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't see the other incarnation, but she's not the story. It's not about her. So I think it's the relationship between these two.
Right. So,
Well, there was also she was a device to kind of get through some mythology, stories of immortals through the ages, which was
that's right. She came in with books and research on the mythology, which I may work in there somehow because it's interesting. There was a whole other story about a Roman soldier that pierced the side of Christ when he was on the cross, and Christ put a curse on him to live forever. That was one of the immortals. Hercules was another immortal, and this one is taken right from folklore, which is a character called the Wandering Jew, which supposedly was this supposedly happened to him, and he's alive and he's still wandering the earth now. So anyway, did you feel it was interesting, and any parts where you would check out, drift away? I'd like to get a feeling.
I thought the writing was just extraordinary. These performances were superlative. It was just so, I never checked out, which I tend to do. And it just kept me the entire time. Found it so moving and touching and poignant. It like I was close to tears sometimes. It really got to me. I just thought it was like bravo, bravo. It was just truly, it was terrific. And I learned something. I did not know that Don Quixote was originally written in Latin. And now I know where the expression doubting Thomas comes from.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
So-
didn't know that before?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thank you for that.
Well,
So-
obviously, with my first name, it was ingrained into me all my life. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just Jack, thank you for inviting me to this because it was, I mean, the Yankee game was on and this was so much, and I'd never missed the Yankee game, and this was so much better than that could ever be. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Yankee game.
I do thank you. I do thank you.
Oh, okay. Well,
And what's
great.
the score?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have it on.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I will say from my point of view, I liked it better with the breaks. Not necessarily with the daughter being in there, although that kind of broke up the action a little bit. But I like the fact of it evolving over multiple sessions rather than this all taking place in the first session.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it was almost like, you know, being in a session and saying, this is all hitting too close to home. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you at our next session. And it also gives more weight, I think, to the end where he says, I'll see you tomorrow, which would be a standard thing for psychiatrists to say.
Yeah.
It does mean a very kind of accelerated change in belief for the doctor, to have this all telescope into an hour, basically.
Yeah.
From
Hour and a half.
the guy comes in, he's, oh my, what kind of delusion is this? Well, we gotta dig and angel on the shoulder stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to shift from that, so quickly, it's kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Okay, good. So that works. Yeah. Just to give you some background too, what Tom was talking about, some of the other draft had short scenes. They would do something and it would end. They'd do something else and it would end to signify this relationship going on over a period of time. And it was suggested to me by Doug Moser, who's very astute old friend, that I should just make it a long one act and make it all happen within a certain amount of time. So that's what happened.
I felt that there was something to be said for both of those, but I did like it broken up, and I did like the breaking up with the third character of Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did like that, but this seemed to work very well for me. Yeah, as an actor. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't see the first draft, but the idea of a third character to me, after having seen this, just seems so intrusive. Like it's just the intimacy to me would have been not as clear. I don't know. That's just
Right.
my
I can see how you would feel that way.
It
I feel that
also
way too.
seems a little arbitrary without actually seeing those scenes and the way that they fit into the bigger picture.
Say that again.
I said without actually seeing that draft or reading that draft, it's tough to imagine how that fits into the bigger picture and where those scenes fell. How they played in with the scenes with the sessions.
Uh-huh.
So you really, it's tough to say one way or the other when you don't know how that particular draft went through. I don't know, maybe if you want to email her one of the old drafts.
Right.
As I say, I think there's something to be said for both, and I did enjoy this one. Just stepping back from it a bit and just reading it. I enjoyed reading this one because it seemed to have, to me, it seems to have a better shape. That's
Okay.
Beginning, middle, and an end. I like the progression of their relationship. And just as an actor, working through those segments of the relationship.
Did you feel that there was a rising conflict and it was resolved at the right time?
Yes, most definitely. I did.
Okay.
But that's not for me to that's for me to try to bring across. And it's for the audience to be able to get that.
Right.
Jack, right. I'd like to hear your ideas of the pros and cons of the two structures.
Pros and cons of what?
the two structures, the continuous structure and the scene structure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I prefer this structure because the last one with the daughter, the information that comes out with that was a little forced, and it was just like, oh, here he is writing about things that the audience has to find out, and the daughter saying, in this whole thing, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us? Don't you trust us? And back and forth conflict.
Okay, that's a character question. What about the scene structure versus the continuous structure?
The what question?
The scene structure versus the continuous structure.
Yeah, I like.
Never mind the characters. What are the pros and cons?
Well, that's
in your
part
mind?
of the structure.
That's
Um,
what I thought. Yeah.
I like the structure better from beginning to end for all this to happen within an hour, hour and 15 minutes. I just feel there's more continuity. I feel it's a little smoother than stopping and starting, and that's basically how I feel about that. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to hear your thought process with the two
Yeah.
styles. That's all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can sit here and spout off what I think, but it's your ultimate call. What works best for you, and which for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, Jack, sorry, Jack.
Carla, go ahead. Mhm.
Hi, sorry, I'm at 2%. So, I just want to say what an excellent the actors. I don't know where you found them, but I'm glad you did. They were really extraordinary.
Right off
And-
the street.
Sorry.
Right off the street.
Yeah, we just picked them up. Yeah.
I want to hang out on that street. You guys were and the writing is wonderful, Jack. I have more to say, and I will call you.
Sure.
I agree with the long one act. I would not want to break this up.
Right. Okay.
But
Okay.
but anyway, I'll be in touch. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
For
Carla. I
that.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yeah.
Me too. I got to
Yeah.
run. Kim is taking off, but
Okay.
congratulations. Great work
Okay.
all around. And Jack, we'll talk later.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye,
Kim.
everybody.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Uh-huh.
You.
Okay. So we have Debbie left, and iPhone 2.
I'm still here. I just
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I
That
just haven't checked
we're
any
left.
emails.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Debbie, to join us. I really do. Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here.
And your comments were really good. And I still have the mystery of who iPhone 2 is, unless that's just, hello?
I didn't press it, did I? No.
No.
It's Elijah.
Hello?
It's Elijah.
iPhone 2? iPhone 2?
Yes.
No? It's back on mute now. I don't know. Tim Cronin was here before. I don't know if that was Tim or not.
No, because Tim's ID came up. I think they just want to be anonymous.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well,
Once this is all done, you'll probably get an email saying that was me.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. This was very helpful. I'm glad we had some good comments. I'm just going to be looking it over and, doing some editing and reworking. I don't think there's anything major that I, have to go into a huge rewrite, but I just want to make sure that it moves smoothly and it's, it works. So, yeah, well,
Jack, what do you finally want to do with this?
I'm sorry, what?
What do you finally want to do with this?
Well,
Or
when I get it to, to the point, I would like to submit it to different contests
Mhm.
and also, submit it to different theaters to see if, any theaters would be interested in doing it. There's the Portland Stage Company in Maine.
Right.
That,
Yep.
yeah, that have
Yeah.
that you can submit things to, and they if they like it, they will put it through their development. Berkshire Theater Company, different places that I want to submit it to. So,
I
so
could
we'll
also-
see.
I could also see this being filmed and like being on PBS or something like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see this as
Well, haven't what's his face? Haven't they already done that with a 2,000-year-old man? You know?
And Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to change the
I love how people either go to Doctor Who or Mel Brooks on this.
yeah. I think I'll change to 2000 because that's too familiar of a number.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he said, I've been alive since the time of Christ, that would be, that would sort of
I
give an
wouldn't
idea.
worry about it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
worry about it. I think
I wouldn't worry about that.
there's a certain group of people that will remember the 2,000-year-old man, but there's so many of them that don't even remember Mel Brooks as doing Blazing Saddles. So
Half of them are 2,000 years old already. So,
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
That's fine. Any final thoughts on how maybe to improve it? Anything that comes to mind?
I don't have anything.
I think that was my only take was, and again, it's just my opinion, was about the scene structure. That's all I had. Yeah, no, I didn't have anything else.
Okay. Okay. Debbie, do you have any last words?
Oh, no, again,
Well-
it's quite extraordinary. The performances were
Okay, so you found it involving and interesting then.
absolutely. And as I said, my mind can wander, but it didn't. So that's always
Okay.
how I judge something, as if it had me there the whole time.
Great.
Well,
Okay.
thank you all. I'm going to go have some dinner.
Okay. Yeah, I think I am too.
Yeah.
Or at least a
Enjoy,
drink.
folks.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We'll talk
Appreciate
soon,
it.
Jack. Take
Okay.
care.
All right.
All right. Take
Take
care. All right.
Sam.
Okay.
Talk to you later, Jack.
Okay.